Hello everybody, I'm back, and today I want to talk about something that I feel very strongly about, and I'm sure in a couple, at least one video before I've done, you guys have noticed that, and that is good business practices. Companies that claim things and stand up for them like they're supposed to. Stand behind their products, stand behind their warranties, stand behind what they claim, and I've found in my years, many years of RC, companies that do and companies that don't. And my last review that I did on a company is a bad experience, and it is 9 months in and there's still no resolution to this problem, and I'm still stuck with a piece of junk. But in this case, let's start from the beginning here. Well, this was my second Japalura 3-inch frame, Armattan Japalura, and I bought a second one because I've got this one, and this one here I have run through the ringer. It is, I only fly over grassy areas, very rarely get near any concrete or anything like that, but you know, this thing has been wrecked, crashed, slammed into the ground. I've broken prop after prop. I have really put this thing through the ringer, and even this last week, a few days ago, I smacked into the a wooden frame on an awning right here, and it just scuffed the got a little paint scuff on here. Didn't even leave a mark on the awning. That wood was that hard, and the paint was that good, but it put a little paint residue right here on the frame. Did not even delaminate the edge of this carbon fiber. It didn't do anything to bend the aluminum, nothing. It just is perfectly straight still. There's no tweaks, no nothing. Didn't even break a prop, which I was surprised of as hard as I hit it. And yeah, so I shouldn't have been flying underneath that awning in the first place because the wind was horrible that day. It was just a few days ago. And when I went underneath the awning, there was a major updraft going through there or something, because this thing just raised right up and smacked right into that awning downhang, and it knocked it down. I did recover it and still flew away, and no problem there. But I did check it thoroughly when I got it, when I landed it, and that's all that was there, just that little scuff, just a little paint rubbed off on the quad. But yeah, this thing, this Japalura frame, I have really, I do all of my practicing with this, trying new stuff. So it's got some dirt on it, some grass stains and stuff, grass stuck on it. It's been run through the ringer. Now this is my second one. I do a little more casual flying with it, but I can't really say casual because I do a lot of tricks with it, but mostly what I've gotten good at with the other one. And it's been through the ringer a few times too. It's hit, you know, had some good bumps and tumbles and crashes, but and it was good. Got over 100, probably 180. Let me see, just under 180 flights, 177 flights on this one. I got like close to, let's see, 560 flights, just shy of 560 flights on the other one here on this one. So it's still going strong. This one here, but I'm going on a tangent here. This one here, I can't figure out how I managed to break a frame on this. I broke the bottom plate, the left front arm, and I reviewed the DVR. I couldn't figure out how it managed to break this arm the way it crashed, but it did. It broke that arm right there. There's the base plate, and both sides, broke both sides of it. And of course it's no good to fly anymore. And Armattan says they have a lifetime warranty on this frame, the 3-inch Japalura, bumper to bumper on the Armattan Japalura. So I'm like, okay, well, I spent the extra money on Armattan because they claim that warranty. Well, I gotta tell you guys, the old saying goes, the proof is in the pudding, and here is the pudding. And let's see, right there, Armattan, straight from Taiwan. And let's go ahead and open this up. Get my scissors over here. Where my scissors go? There they are. And get this out. I'm knocking things around here to get my scissors. Okay, let's open this up. Okay, And here we go. And what do we got in here? We have, well, what is that? Ah, a little piece of candy from Taiwan. Nice. I like foreign candies. I like trying different candies and stuff from foreign places. There's a lot of really good stuff out there if you can get a hold of it. Okay, so we got the sticker. Got a sticker here. Looks like a sticker. Yep, that's a sticker. Armattan's Productions. They usually come with the frames. And then there we go. There's my new base plate. And it looks perfect. No cracks, no dings, no scratches, no delamination. Everything looks perfect. Yep, everything looks good on this. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. So there we go. I got a new base plate. And all it cost me was the $5 shipping. It didn't cost me anything for the plate itself. $5 shipping is standard with Armattan, any order, according to their website. But I got to tell you, to get this replacement frame, it took 2 emails. 2 emails. Now, I did buy another frame from an authorized reseller, another frame plate, base plate from an authorized reseller again, just because I wanted to get back in the air right away. So I bought the base plate and put it on here while I was waiting for this one. This took about 2 weeks to get here. But this here, it took 2 emails. And I'm not kidding, 2 emails. The first email I sent, I went on their website and I looked at the information on what they wanted for the warranty. I filled out the piece of paper, printed it out with the information they wanted on it, and I set the quad there still put together like they say. Took a picture of the brake with an arrow pointing to it. I took a picture on the other side so they could see a little better, and sent them that email. And it was about 2 hours later I checked my email and there was a reply. And they said, scratch both sides of the plate of the broken part and take a picture of either side with a scratch where the scratch is visible and send them that. And oh, I also had to have a copy of my original receipt from the authorized reseller with the first email, which I did. And then the second email, I took this picture of the scratches. You can see I scratched it there and I scratched it there. Took a pictures of that with the same information on the same sheet of paper and sent that to them. And a little bit later, I got an email with a coupon code to get a new base plate. So I went on to Armattan and I put it into the cart and put the coupon code in. It took the cost of the base plate off, and I just had to pay the $5 shipping. So there you go. Proof is in the pudding, and the pudding is sweet. Thanks, Armattan. You guys need to keep that up. Keep it up. That's good business practices. That's what I like. Companies that actually do what they say they're going to do and stand behind their claims and their warranties. So, don't really know what else to say about this. This is a completely 180-degree turn from my last experience with a company in the RC hobby. And I really am going to stick with Armattan when it comes to frames. Yeah, they may be a little heavier, but I'm not doing a lot of racing or any racing right now. I'm just practicing going through gates and stuff. And that's about it. So I got my 2 Japalura frames, and I just built, or not built, but just got this Badger frame, Armattan Badger, and we're going to see how that goes. And if I happen to break something, knock on wood, we'll see how the warranty situation goes again with Armattan. But as for these quads, I mean, this and these, and the initial build, I did not do, okay? And this is kind of an extension of what I'm talking about good business practices and in companies the way they are with a lot of companies. I've been in the RC hobby for a very long time. I mean, since I was a kid, and that's like over 40 years now I've been in the RC hobby. I was out for a little bit because of my disability, and it was just freaking me out. But then I got back into it, and this is what I got back into with it, is the quads. And I found that when it comes down to the components, okay, like the ESCs, the VTXs, the flight controllers, the motors, and all that kind of stuff, especially the VTXs, flight controllers, and ESCs, and things like that, where you got to do soldering on them. They don't want to cover them and replace them if it's a DOA or if something's wrong with it, because this is what I found. There's a lot of people out there that are getting into this kind of thing, and whether it's quads or something else, it doesn't matter. They really don't know what they're doing at all. And they just jump into it. They don't know how to solder. They don't know how to put things together. They don't know how to do certain things. And they just jump right in there and start doing it. And they mess something up, and they try to claim it was the company or the product itself, and it was actually them. Well, when these companies get these things back, they find that it wasn't the product itself. It was something they did, the person did, the customer did. And so these companies have stopped warranting their stuff, even on DOAs. A lot of companies have done that. So it's gotten to where I would much rather have a company build it like I did these, and then that way they can test the components, they can make sure everything works, they put it together initially, and if something's wrong with it at that point, it's on them. They send it to me, and if something is immediately dead, I can call them and tell them, look, you guys, I don't touch it other than, test it. And if it's not working, then I can call them and, let them know, or email them, let them know, or whatever, and take it from there, because I didn't personally build it. So that all the soldering and everything is on them. So that's what I've done. But otherwise, I can repair them. I can build them. The building part, the soldering part, all that kind of stuff is no problem for me, because I've been doing this for so long with electronics and, RC. And I've already had to rebuild this one, a full rebuild, probably 2 times. And I've had to replace quite a few wires in here. I've had to resolder wires. Once they get to a certain point, you have to replace them because they're too short. Sometimes I just replace them just for good measure. But this one here, I've rebuilt, a full rebuild twice. I've done quite a few repairs on this over the 600, close to 600 flights, or maybe, let me see how many flights I got on this. I got to check. I'm at 570 flights, 500, just under 570. So I've had a few rebuilds on this. I've had to replace a lot of stuff. There was one time it drove me nuts because the Hellgate buzzer I have in here, it wouldn't stop beeping. I couldn't get it to disarm. And I pulled the top plate off of here and looked, and I saw one of the wires had come loose, so I had to pull this thing all apart to get to it and get in there and replace it. I replaced all the wires on it. So that wasn't a big deal either. But finally got that stupid thing to shut up. It was driving me nuts. The whole time I'm tearing it apart to get in there to try and get to the wires and replace the wires, it was beeping. I could not get it to disarm for anything. So, yeah, but like I said, soldering and stuff that I don't have a problem with. Where I have the problem with this new technology, because I was back old school, like 20 years ago. This is the kind of stuff I'm used to and grew up with. But this here, the new technology in these, when it comes down to tuning, flashing firmware, those kind of things, I'm not that great at. When it comes to tuning, I'm getting there. I've been working with another quad that I have that was just a piece of garbage, and I'm trying to get that thing to fly right. It was one of my past reviews. I'm 9 months in trying to get a resolution on that thing, and I think it's just got a bad ESC board, or maybe even a flight controller. But I've been trying all kinds of stuff with tuning just to figure out tuning. But I'm getting better with that. I've done some minor tuning on these. Now, when it comes down to flashing firmware, that still kind of freaks me out. I can't really afford to just go and buy a new component if something messes up and it ends up bricking it. So flashing firmware, I'm not going to deal with right now until I get a little more confident and have the means of just picking up something else if I end up bricking something. So that's where I'm at when it comes to this. I don't want to buy these components, get them here, find out their DOA, and then because I've done something to it, like soldered on it already, they're going to say I messed it up. But hey guys, if you're not acclimated, not good at soldering, not acclimated to this kind of thing, get something to practice with. Get some PCBs, get some wire, get some solder, get a good soldering iron, and sit there and practice and practice and practice until you get good at it before you go sticking a soldering iron to one of these, because these boards, they have the chips on there. They're very sensitive components. They're heat sensitive. The pads are not, always the greatest. I mean, they're very delicate pads. You got to be in and out quick. You got to have the temperature on your soldering iron right. You got to use the right solder. You got to use the right gauge wire, right gauge solder, rosin core solder or whatever you want to use. Got to have the right gauge of that when you're getting on these, especially these tiny little pads. So that's the thing. If you're new to this, make sure you know what you're doing before you get into it. Because the companies are just not wanting to warranty anything, because people that don't know what they're doing get in there and they mess something up, and then they try to get it repaired or replaced, and the company, when they get it back, finds out that it was nothing to do with the component. It was the end user that messed something up, and now they don't want to warranty anything for people. Hardly anybody does anymore. So we got to try and change that by, if you don't know, practice first. Research it first, get it done, get it right in your head, and do some practicing first. So until things change about that, I'm probably just going to stick with the initial builds by somebody else, and then go from there. So like I said, I'm good with everything except for tuning. I'm not that great with yet, and the flashing firmware still freaks me out because I don't want to brick something, because I can't afford to just go out and buy something new. So anyway, guys, Armattan, they definitely stood behind their claims and their warranty. No problems whatsoever. 2 emails done, new base plate, and there was no questions. There was no, oh, well, what'd you do to it? How did you crash? None of that kind of stuff. It was what were you flying over? What did you hit? There was none of that. There was none of that. Information they wanted, pictures, done. New frame. That's all it was. So Armattan, keep it up, guys. Keep it up. I'm going to be buying your frames on every quad until something changes, So thanks a lot, guys. Thanks, Armattan. And thanks, guys, for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, like, dislike, comment if you want, and we will catch you on the next one.